What's going on, guys? Jay, that drain guy. We're here in an apartment today and we're going to be snaking out this toilet line. The superintendent said it's been backing up. We're going to be putting in a retrofit shutoff valve and a new water supply and everything like that. We're going to suck out all this water and then we're going to get at it. So we tried flushing the toilet before turning on the camera. Everything flushed fine, but he believes that once we open or keep running the water, it's going to back up eventually. So we're just going to get it done the proper way. Alright, so there we go. Now we're just going to disconnect this water line and put in a retrofit shutoff valve. So, before anybody asks why I don't just solder in or sweat in a new valve, I'm not a plumber. I'm not legally allowed to solder in Ontario. I'm from Ontario, Canada. So I'm allowed to put these valves in, no problem. And that's why. So let's get ready to pull this toilet. Actually, we can open up this. And then if they do want to go and get a new valve put on, they can do that during the week. This is a weekend right now. It's a Sunday morning. So the less people they have to come out, the better off they're going to be. I work for a company that has plumbers and drain technicians. So we have individual for each issue they have. All right, so let's get ready to pull the toilet. Grab our little flathead screwdriver, pop the caps. We use a ratcheting wrench. Well, I like to. It's a 1/2 inch and a 9/16. Just makes my job that much easier. You guys will notice a couple things on this video. I do not silicone around toilets. And I also do not cut the toilet bolts. I've gone to too many emergencies and emergency backups, I should say, and need to worry about trying to get the old nut off the bolt because it's been cut. The threads weren't done properly. just like the one we're doing now. Managements tend not to shut the building line down when the drains are backing up, so we got to work against everyone above using the water. I'm going to be picking this toilet up, putting it in the bathtub. There's a rubber mat in there that I'm going to be sitting on top of. Some people will say you're scratching the toilet or you're scratching the tub. No, I'm not. All right, that's that. So you guys can actually see the toilet is clogged there, the drain. So that's good. We see that. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna bring in the K50 and we're gonna snake this out. We're using the K50 because this is an apartment building, and the problem typically, I say typically because not always, in this situation is within 10 feet. So the drain is not backing up by itself, so that means it's not in the main stack. So that means it's going to be in the branch, and that is just inside the wall. So we're using a 2-inch cutter, or it might be an 1 5/8. I really don't know off the top of my head. You guys can see I put a bend on it, right? What we're gonna do, we know the 90's gonna go this way towards the wall, so we're gonna bend it, force it that way, and then we're gonna put a turn on it to where it's gonna force it down the actual stack. All right, we're about 3/4 of the way to the stack. Now we're just going to do a slight turn. So I usually always have 2 cables hooked up at the same time. That'll give us 15 feet of cable. So you guys can see the connection right there. That's 7.5 feet. Typically, you want to run the machine in reverse so that it feeds in. I don't understand it, but in this situation, we're going to put it forward so that it actually spins out, but the way the cable goes, it forces it through the blockage a lot easier. Hopefully you guys could hear that water running down the drain. So I'm going to continue to just feed the rest of this cable in. We'll pull it out. We'll see if we got anything on the cable. So nothing really came back. A little bit of hair, bit of plastic. Can still hear the water running and other people flushing. All right, so now what we got to do, we'll wrap up our machine and then we will do a clean up, I should say. You guys hear that? It's definitely a good flush, or good sound. Now the only thing we hope is it's not going to flood downstairs. Alright, always good to bring an extra set of gloves with you. I do wear the gloves from Watson. They're a good company. I use the 5mm box. They're the Grease Monkey gloves, 5mm, 100 come in a box. Actually, the gloves I was using to run the machine with, they were from Watson as well. I don't know if you guys like this hoodie that I'm wearing. If you guys ever want to check anything like that out, I always put a link down below. I got a bunch of little fun designs. Alright, so now wax gaskets. So I'm going to put new bolts down, and then I'm actually going to take this off, and I'm going to bolt or use the nuts and washers to secure it nice and tight to the flange. So it doesn't move. And then you typically won't have many issues getting the toilet off in the future. The management knows I don't cut the bolts. I need to actually, next time I'm at the supplier, I need to pick up some deep caps. Yeah, same thing, we use our 1/2-inch wrench. This is a busy toilet line today. It's a Sunday. All right. I'm going to hook up our water supply now. And those of you who don't know, this is a 5/8. All right, now we can put the gasket back on. That way we should get a good seal on it. If you guys are liking the video at all, give it a thumbs up and let me know what I did wrong, what I did right. All right, make sure you get a good squish on the gasket. Then we'll put the plastic washer and the brass washer, and then the brass nut. I want to go tight, but not too tight. You kind of get the hang of how tight you got to go with experience. You got to be cautious because you don't want to go over tight and crack the base of the toilet. I know from experience. I'm what some would call a professional. But no, there was a week where I broke, I think, 3 toilets in 1 week when I first started out. I'm just glad I had a good boss that understood I was learning and let me learn, right? Now we're gonna turn the water on. We definitely got good flow in the toilet there, or in the tank. Good pressure there. So we're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna do a little cleanup while this fills up, and I will be right back. So I like to, you can either flush the toilet. With these toilets, this is a Niagara Stealth, and with these toilets, after you suck out all the water, you're going to want to flush it twice to get that good flush, or just fill it up by letting the water run in the overflow or the fill tube so that it fills up the back of that trap. These are built with a double trap and they're garbage. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I don't get sponsorships on this channel, but I would almost love for them to try to offer me a sponsorship, because there's no way in hell I would take a sponsorship from that company. They might be good with other stuff, I don't know, but their toilets are trash. So I filled it up. You guys can see the water there. We're gonna give it a flush and see what happens. So another thing I will show you guys, you can see some calcium building up there at that water jet. That is gonna create issues down the line.